Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then I'm Bex. I'm mum to Finley, who's 19 months old, and I make videos about Hygge, parenting and lifestyle. I also have a website which is bexmassey.co.uk, so head on over there for more cosy content. So today's video is my 300 subscriber Q&A. I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions, and these are the questions that I got back. So grab yourself a drink, get yourself cozy, and let's dive in. A lot of these questions have come from other bloggers and vloggers, so I will leave the links to their channels below. So the first question is from Team Stein Mummy, and Charlotte has a blog which is called Team Stein. She also has a YouTube channel, and I'll link her below. She asks, do you have any goals or wishes for 2019? So I don't tend to make New Year's resolutions or goals really, I just tend to take the year as it comes. But this year I've decided to do something a little bit different. I've decided to pick a word that's going to sum up my year and try to do things around that word. So the word I've chosen for my year is growth. And so I'd like to think that will include things that will push me out of my comfort zone. As much as I love to cozy up, I feel that I need to push myself creatively really. So I've already signed up to a few sort of courses and blogging sort of opportunities. So I'll be going to a goal setting workshop with Kat Horrocks from We Blog North, and that's at the end of this month. So I'm excited to do that because I'll be setting some sort of goals around the blogging, vlogging sort of thing that I'm doing, that I'm really enjoying, and seeing where I can take it really. In terms of other goals or plans, we have booked a summer holiday which I'm really excited about. We're going back to the same hotel that we went to when Finley was 3 months old in Islandia, so I'm excited about that, and that has given me some sort of motivation to eat more healthily and to just try to get back to the size that I was when I first had Finley. That was strangely the lightest that I had been for quite some time, and I think I could put it down to when I was pregnant with Finley, eating so healthily and just taking care of myself, and I think I need to do a bit more of that this year. So yeah, this year is going to focus more on personal growth and development really. Bethanie from Northumberland Family Diaries has asked, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Well, that's a good question. If you had asked me this 10 years ago, I would still have definitely been very much a Manchester girl. I've always been a homebody. I've never really had any desire to live anywhere else other than Manchester really. But I think the closer I have got towards 40, I'm 37 now, the more I'm yearning to have some sort of big adventure. We were watching Escape to the Chateau over Christmas, and like lots of other people, I think I have been just completely inspired to consider living a bigger life. And so a dream would be to live in France one day maybe. It seems a bit more realistic to us because for a short while before I met Dan, he lived in France. He was working there for a while, and he fell in love with the area, the way of life. I don't know if at this stage whether it's a dream or whether it's possibly a plan for the future, particularly with Brexit and the sort of uncertainties around expats. I've also hankered after going to Copenhagen. I fell in love with the Danish Way of Life after reading the book The Danish Way of Parenting. I did a book review on that which I'll link below. I have sort of just fallen in love with the idea of finding a different way of life really, and the possibilities of living somewhere else for a little while. NaturallyMummaJo has asked, do you have an idol? There are certainly lots of people I admire. I don't know if I have one specific idol. I suppose if you pushed me to ask who I sort of admire, then it would probably be Nigella Lawson, I think. I think she's beautiful. If I could look like anybody, it would be her. I absolutely love her recipes, the way she cooks, I think she's really intelligent and witty and articulate, self-deprecating. I always enjoy any interviews that I read or watch with her in. I would also say that any of the baking videos that I have done, I've sort of tried to emulate the filming style of her programmes. My cat's just decided to appear, which leads me quite nicely onto Spoon of Nutella's question, which is, do you have any pets? And yes, we have a cat. He's called Finbar. When I first got him, I was stuck between the name Angus or Finbar and Finbar 1. He's quite old. He will be 14 in May. He's an old cat and he's sort of getting on. He isn't very well. He does have kidney disease. It's quite hard to watch a pet that you've had from being like a tiny kitten and just watching them get old, really. But it's very placid and very cuddly. He's quite frightened of Finley, although Finley absolutely loves him and just tries to dive on him and cuddle him at any opportunity, and he's just like, I'm out of here. Spoon of Nutella has also asked, what's your dream holiday destination? There are so many places that I want to go that don't really have any sort of theme to them. I would love to go to Jamaica. I would love to go back to Mexico one day. I would absolutely love to go back to New York. About 3-4 years ago, I read the book, The Little Book of Hygge, and sort of fell in love with the Danish way of life and sort of Scandi living, and from that point I've wanted to visit Copenhagen. I also loved the Cotswolds when we went there last year, and I'd definitely love to go back there in the autumn. I don't know if that's something that will happen, but yeah, I would say they're sort of dream destinations. I've also always wanted to go to Italy, and I'd love to go somewhere very alpine. I know Mariah Carey always spends her Christmas in Aspen in Colorado, so it would be amazing to have a proper white Christmas there one year. Which quite neatly leads me on to Spoon of Nutella's other question, which was your favourite Christmas tradition. I have lots of Christmas traditions that I love. I even did a video on our family Christmas traditions, so I will pop a link to that below. I think it would have to be going to choose the Christmas tree and then decorating the Christmas tree. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that Christmas is a big deal in our house. We go to pick our Christmas tree on usually between the last weekend of October or the first weekend of November. We go to a Christmas tree farm. I've done a couple of videos where we've gone to choose our Christmas tree, which I'll leave those linked below. But we always go to a Christmas tree farm in Whaley Bridge, called Clayton Fold Christmas Tree Farm. We go with a pink bite lock so that we can pick our tree out and put the bite lock on it so nobody can steal it. My other favourite tradition really is decorating the Christmas tree. I've always loved doing that. Me and my mum would go on the last day of term at school. After I finished school, we would go and pick out the Christmas tree and then decorate it up. I also loved doing that with my nan. My nan used to have an artificial tree, and she would just bring all the Christmas decorations down and let me go for it, really. I would say as the years have gone by, the decorating of the Christmas tree has got more and more of like a creative thing for me. I like Christmas styling and interiors. I always keep the Christmas editions of any Homes magazines for inspiration, really, to carry out some ideas the following year. There are lots of other Christmas traditions that I love and have started for my own family, and if you want to know more about those, then watch the video linked below. NaturallyMummaJo also asked, who was the first person that you subscribed to on YouTube, and do you still watch their videos? First person that I subscribed to was Celeste from the channel Tim and Celeste, which I'll leave linked down below. Celeste has documented the trying to conceive journey for the last few years, and I first was inspired to start YouTube through watching other women document their infertility journeys, and I really was quite isolated when I was struggling with infertility, and the trying to conceive community really was my main support network. So yes, I still watch Celeste, and I am just wishing and hoping and praying and sending all the positive vibes out that I can for them both. It's been such a long, winding road for them both to have their baby. I think they are both such strong, inspirational people, and they are so deserving of their baby, however their child comes to them. The next question is, what's your favourite Christmas tipple? This was from Niels Goodegast. Hiya. As you know, Niels, I'm not really that fussy. I love red wine. I have a bit of a thing about whiskey, and we had a whiskey advent calendar this year where we were just trying to find different types of whiskies to try, which has been fun, although Dan wimped out of that and we still have a few bottles to get through. I also love Baileys. I mean, he doesn't really, but I also tried for the first time this year Marks and Spencer's mince pie Irish cream liqueur, which is basically like Baileys on Steads. It's amazing. It just tastes like mince pie and ice cream that's been sort of blended up. It's amazing. And the last two questions are from NaturallyMummaJo. So, what memories do you have about Christmas growing up? Oh, there are lots to choose from, really. I think I would probably have to say that a lot of my Christmas memories centre around the Christmas tree. I think my fondest memories revolve around the lead up to Christmas, more than Christmas itself, if that makes sense. I absolutely loved decorating the Christmas tree with my mum. We would always, like I said, go on the last day of Christmas term at school, which was sort of quite late on. I think it would usually be around the 14th, 15th of December. And I would finish school. We tended to finish school early on that day, and me and my mum would go off in her car and we would go to the local place where you would buy the Christmas tree, and they had a horse there that would always pet and give carrots to, and we would pick our Christmas tree, basically try to cram it into a mini metro, which was always a challenge because I get my love of a big Christmas tree from my mum. And so our Christmas tree tended to be put up quite late, which I quite liked. I don't have the willpower to do that these days, but I do have fond memories of that. And the village that I grew up in the 1980s, was like a tiny, quiet village. It's not quite the quiet village it was in the 1980s, but everything used to shut down for Christmas. So there was that sort of siege mentality that went on of you had to buy everything in ready because all the shops did shut for Christmas and wouldn't open again until sort of the beginning of January. And I loved that feeling of just everything shutting down ready for Christmas and it being like a proper holiday, where you didn't have this whole thing of supermarkets being open over Christmas, so everybody did sort of hunker down, which I really enjoyed. Other fond memories are making the mince pies and the Christmas cake with my nan. My love of baking definitely comes from my nan, who's Scottish, and I have her old baking book, which actually I'll get and I'll show you. Okay, so it's so old, it's fallen apart. But if my house was on fire, after getting Finley and Dan and the cat out, I would probably be running to save this. It's one of like my most treasured things. So it is fallen, it's completely broken, but at the beginning she's got handy measures for flour, cocoa, sugar, liquid and syrups. And then there's just all sorts of handwritten recipes. So there's a handwritten recipe for Christmas cake there. Things that she'd sort of pulled out of magazines and things. Flaky pastry. Spicy buns. My nan doesn't really bake anymore because of her eyesight, and that's one of the reasons why she sort of passed this on, which is why it's really special to me. But one of my favourite things that my nan used to bake were spicy buns. So I've got the recipe for those. A couple of things have just fallen out, which is an old Polaroid. That's me. That's me on the right with a chocolate cake around my face. Don't know if you can pick that up. I don't think I've changed too much really. I am thinking maybe of doing some recipes that I've baked from this book, so I'll do a little poll up here if I can, and let me know if you would like me to do some baking videos using the recipes from this book. NaturallyMummaJo's final question is, what's your favourite thing about Christmas? I think it has to be that sort of magical feel that you get. I don't think it's a thing that I find that's favourite or special to me. It's the feeling that you have. I love that everybody decorates their shop windows. Everybody seems to make more of an effort with decorating things. The place just seems prettier. I think people seem more friendly. It's just that sort of excited feeling that you get on the lead up towards Christmas. And then I just love the days are spent cozying up, eating a cheese board, watching TV, and just spending time together as a family and just switching off. So yeah, I think for me it isn't a favourite thing that I have, it's that favourite feeling that you have at Christmas. The best way I can sum it up is Christmas for me is that big Hygge sort of feeling that you get, and that's why I sort of try to recreate it now throughout the year. I hope I've answered your questions if you've asked me them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell below for more videos on Hygge parenting and lifestyle, and head over to bexmassey.co.uk for more cosy content, and I'll see you in the next video.